The Marsh Series is about to begin. It's good to have the footy back, and it's also a good time to provide a SuperCoach team update. But before I do that, I made a league. Code's right there, 904108. Just an extra league for you to join if you want, so feel free. And I'll also give a shout out to SuperCoach Deji and George and Enno. Those guys do some awesome work providing SuperCoach content, and their groups are down there. So feel free to join those as well, if you haven't already. Here's the team. 6.7k in the bank, which isn't the greatest, but I do like how the team looks at this stage. Obviously, rookies aren't set in stone. Got to see how they go during the Marsh Series, but most of these guys would have been mentioned in articles and whatnot. But let's kick things off in defense. Sicily, Houston, and Doherty all still there. Added Stephen Hill as well. A lot of news on Houston playing in the midfield, which is a great sign and a big reason why I had him in my starting team in the first place. Midfield, still the same. McRae, Cripps, Dunkley, Zorko, and Cornelio. Obviously, Zorko, the big risk. Big pod. Only 1.5% have him at this stage. And I still really like the pick, hence why I have him in my team. He thrived with Neil copping a bit of attention later in the season. A 113 average after round 7, and that includes an injury-affected 61 against the Dogs. Obviously plays a SuperCoach-friendly role, loves to kick the ball, loves to tackle, can snag a couple goals. And if his role doesn't change, then I think he can put up similar numbers. So I'll definitely watch him closely throughout the preseason games, but barring any unexpected role changes or anything like that, he'll probably stay in the side. The rucks, Grundy and Gawn, hasn't changed. Obviously, Gawn copped an injury, but at this stage, it looks like he'll be okay for round 1, but obviously we'll keep an eye on that. And finally, the forwards. Hugh Greenwood comes in for Isaac Heaney, who got injured right after I uploaded the last video. I don't mind the Greenwood pick. He's a gritty inside mid who loves to get the contested ball. Hopefully we see him play that role at Gold Coast. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the Marsh Series, but he's in the team for now. Not quite set in stone. I do like a few other options around that price range. Jordan Dawson and Darcy Parish even, they come to mind, but for now it is Hugh Greenwood. And that's the team. Hopefully I won't have to make too many changes after the Marsh Series. We'll take a look at some pods on each line, see who could be up for consideration. I've got the Zork at 1.5% ownership at the moment, so why not take a look and see who else is out there. Starting off in defense. Obviously Lloyd, Williams, and Laird, the most popular options out of the lot you can see on screen. I really like Caleb Daniel, only owned by 6%, uses the ball well, racks up the touches. Definitely would consider him if you want a pod in defense. I hate the scrolling on laptop. When you hold it down and it drags you down to like the 50th guy, I don't understand. I just wanted to scroll down a little bit here. But another guy, this would be a huge risk, but Darcy Byrne-Jones, don't mind the pick if you were to get a risky pod. Besides the one game against North Melbourne where, to put it lightly, he shat the bed. 5 touches and 7 SuperCoach points. Besides that, his numbers were pretty good. A lot of tons in there, a lot of them over 110, racked up the touches, got his fair share of marks too, a lot of kicks. So he's not a bad pick, only owned by 0.7%. If you were to take a huge gamble in defense, he could be a decent option. Now the midfield, most of the top guys, really popular. Cripps, obviously the most, with over half of all SuperCoach teams having him. But Josh Kelly, only owned by 10.9%. He's had an uninterrupted preseason, which is huge for him because we all know how injury prone he is. So I don't blame you if you're really positive on him as a SuperCoach selection. The Bont's there at 10.5% ownership. Out of the Dogs mids, though, I do prefer McRae and Dunkley over him, but if you want to take a punt on the Bont, definitely not a bad pick. Treloar I really like, only 8.6% ownership. One of the best disposal winners in the game. Extremely consistent, a lot of tons. Almost every game with 30 plus disposals. Racks up the tackles as well. He is a bit up there at 615k, but if you want a pod, he could be the guy. Yo and Gaff, they're not too bad either, but I'm not too sure on the West Coast mids just yet. I would like to see how they go with Tim Kelly in the side, how they all fit as a midfield group. Zorko has gone up 0.1%, nice. Another couple of mids I don't mind, a great value, Dion Prestia and Jared Lyons. Prestia only owned by 1.2% and Lyons just 0.8%. Second half of last season, Prestia was a ball magnet, put up some great SuperCoach scores, and so did Lyons. Had a couple of insane scores, 130, 139, 165, 142, 141. Whether these guys can do it for a full season, that's another story, but this shows what they are capable of. I know everyone wants to go for the big guns, the trusted primos, but if you want to spice things up a bit, these guys are great value, and definitely should be considered. I won't go through the rucks because it's pretty much about Grundy and Gawn there, although some people have gone with Riley O'Brien as a Gawn alternative, so got to acknowledge that. But in the forward line, Whitfield and Dusty, besides them, it's a bit of a mess. Walters, next popular at 15.2%. Heaney obviously injured, and not sure if he's going to be right for round 1 yet. Toby Green owned by 6%. He got most of his mid-time last season due to the Giants' injuries, so I'll probably stay away from him. Jezza Cameron, don't trust key forwards. The only other pods I'd really consider are Jordan Dawson, Darcy Parish, and Hugh Greenwood, who's obviously in my team right now. Dawson owned by 7.4%, Parish owned by just 1.5%. Dawson put up a solid second half of the season, got a fair few touches, loved to kick the ball, and put up some solid scores there. So I can definitely see why people wanted to select him. And Parish, obviously riskier than Dawson, really depends on mid-time and how he goes in that role, because you can see how good he can be mid-season, 137, 129, 110, but at the same time he's put up a lot of average scores between 70 to 90. So it's a risky pick, but if he does get that mid-time, could be a really good pod at F3. And that'll do it. Can't wait to watch some footy again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.